Hey folks, we just got some insights as to why InZOI has been delayed till March. In my last video about InZOI, if you remember my controversial thoughts there, I was hard pressed by the delay. For me, I'm pretty engaged with the concept of early access gaming, and I enjoy a variety of games, and I'm pretty open to the idea that not all launches go smoothly, and that all games come in all shapes, and we should judge dev teams proportionate to their dreams and ambitions. So in other words, I was disappointed in the delay and speculated as to why. Thankfully, Kjun provided us with an open letter of sorts. Sure, it's taken quite a while to hear something back, but I'm glad to have something to work with. And by the by, this kind of transparency, I will always state, is a welcome approach that is not at all common, especially from other game dev teams. If you know, you know. Also, just as a heads up, I'll be breaking down and jumping around excerpts from his full Discord post entitled Kjun's Concerns Marching Towards March. For more info on that and where to find it, see the sources in the description. So to get us started, he opens with, developing a life sim game is an ambitious challenge for any team, and we've certainly felt this ourselves. For decades, the genre has been championed by The Sims, a legendary series that is both inspiring and daunting to follow. When our much smaller team first began working on InZOI 2 years ago, we planned to release a playable version by the end of 2024 and continue developing the game with feedback from our players. However, the unexpected, amazing reception and interest from the world showed us we needed to raise our standards from the first experience we would deliver with InZOI. After Gamescom, we took a significant step toward that goal by adding more than 20 new members to our growing team. The extra time that comes with this delay will allow us to incorporate your valuable feedback and refine the systems that will make InZOI a better experience for everyone. I touched on this in prior videos, but I think a gentle reminder is important here. While InZOI is backed by a big studio, it doesn't imply that the dev team themselves may come from prolific backgrounds regarding various life sim games of the past. While we know that's the case for Kjun, I speculated that may extend to their team by and large. And this isn't a new idea. Many people have pointed out that Krafton has virtually no experience in the space. This is a new venture for them and one they believe in. But as mentioned here, they're not blind to that responsibility and want to take accountability. They've got that indie dev mindset despite the huge backing of support. It reminds me of Paralives, but on a much larger scale. He goes on to say, InZOI is unique because it's created by developers within the Korean gaming industry, where life simulation games are virtually non-existent. As a result, our team naturally lacks genre-specific references or related experience to draw from. Additionally, with no major life simulation releases globally in recent years, we've had to chart our own path, designing systems almost entirely from scratch. Despite these challenges, our morale remains high because from the very beginning, we've prioritized communicating with players to create a game they would want to play. As a life simulation enthusiast myself, my goal is to make InZOI a game created by fans and, just as importantly, for fans of the genre. Now, that's the crux of it, an honest outlook on the life sim gaming space, especially regionally. I absolutely adore this kind of statement because of how real it speaks to just where the genre is at right now. I mean, look at Project Renee.
We didn't say that, no, but...
Sorry, I stole that from a savvy commenter on a Sims video, and I have to add that here. That is a brilliant comment, but it's the truth. Right now, The Sims 4, and more broadly, The Sims, dominate the space, calls the shots, sets the rules, and all the bars for others to try and leap over. Thankfully, the dilution and cannibalizing of The Sims has turned Will Wright's vision of the game into like this massive $1,000 plus cash grab meant to exploit their fans, essentially. So it's not a tough bar to clear, and they're able to do this with tremendous effectiveness because they monopolize the space by standing on the shoulders of dev teams who have built The Sims 1, 2, and 3. They have references, they have a framework, and a legacy. All that's left for them to do is endlessly drain their own fans for every dollar. We've seen games like Life by You unfortunately take a turn for the worse, and Paralives, while myself am a patron, I know full well it has been in development since January 2019. To make a life sim game is hard. No one is saying that it isn't. But to admit it, for me, shows great reflection, honesty, and accountability. I had this discussion before in prior videos, speculating some of the pitfalls that the InZOI team may or have encountered, and I'm just relieved to know that they're not bullish in their approach. Wrapping it up here, he relates to himself as very much a tourist in this landscape and continues to approach the game with humility. He says, personally, I've never been a fan of driving, partly because of my poor sense of direction. And when I travel to another country, I'm often the stereotypical tourist who gets lost wherever I go. Looking back, perhaps it's that fear of getting lost that has kept me anchored to the familiarity of the MMORPG genre for over 20 years. To me, InZOI is like embarking on a mysterious vacation to an unknown world. And like the tourist I am, I'm looking to rely on the familiar natives or incredible community here on Discord to guide me along the right path. I'll frequently ask for your directions, and with your input, I'll thoughtfully apply your answers as we march toward the next step. And that's the attitude that I enjoy seeing, someone who is willing to say, I don't know. When we look back at this more broadly, the reason why InZOI has much more traction and has developed more quickly than, let's say, Paralives is for the fact that they are backed by Krafton. So things are more expedited, perhaps too much, that it may have felt that they were putting the cart before the horse. Kjun's experience with MMOs and RPG shows in InZOI as it attempts to bring fun and engaging gameplay back to the life sim genre. That's a strength. That said, to have InZOI feel more immersive and more real to life experiences, we need diverse characters and more characterization, more culture, more LGBTQIA representation, and to include the spontaneity of events in an ever-present active world. Ultimately, they know their game better than any of us, and if they didn't feel confident about an end-of-year release, and March gives them that comfort, then I hope it's what they needed. I'll stand by my initial criticisms because I come with the perception of someone who plays early access games regularly, and I like to encourage people to be more open to their gaming experiences. That said, obviously do your due diligence and research whether you should buy an early access games. There are early access games out there that perhaps will never see the light of day, but in short, I'm just glad to know why the game was delayed, and I'm eager to hear more news as we continue to march to March. And if you'd like to hear more news about InZOI or enjoy stuff that you're seeing on this channel, please follow along with me on this YouTube journey. In any case, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate that, and I appreciate you. And I hope to see you in the next video, whatever the next video may be. So until then, I will see you then. Bye for now.